Hello and welcome to the Temple of Tomes with your host, Indie Comics Jones. Today's September 24th, 2021, and this is episode 417. Boy, I have had a hat trick of good comics today. I got to read three in a row, and I loved them all. This is the third one. We did Moonlight, one of the episodes for that, and before that Vinyl. Both of those were really good. Both very different, but both very exciting and boy, fast paced. And then I got to Blade Runner's Origins, which has been a pretty good story, but I just couldn't get that one done. But Rabid World, most excellent. Loving this comic. They did a great job on this. So let's take a quick look to see who worked on this. First of all, we showed this one of these zombies, these rabid zombies breaking through, which I believe is supposed to be one of the forts, Fort Levine. There you go. The writer on this is Todd Sisani. I don't know, Sinani. I'm not quite sure. I'm sorry. Sinani, I'm guessing. Okay, artist is Oleg Okanov, and luckily the letterer has an easier name, Lucas Gattoni. There you go. Editor is Andrea Lorenzo Molinari, with production is Joel Rodriguez. So this story is basically a zombie type story. I'm not going to, it is a little bit different though. There appears to be some kind of rabies type disease that's spreading through and spreads very quickly. But they figured out that there seems to be like a patient zero, and that patient zero, there takes a lot of time to just gestate until it turns zombie, and it usually waits until there's more people around, more populated area around before it really goes full blown and starts taking over the areas. So since there's kind of like a queen in this, like quite like an ant, it's kind of a hive mentality. And just like ants follow a trail, if you break that trail, they get all confused. And that's what they've kind of figured out. They've also got an antidote for this virus, and it's kind of a scary antidote. We'll go into that in just a little bit here. So they're outside Fort Levine here, a couple helicopters just blowing away all these zombies that are gone to attack the fort. And in the meantime, they are racing to get this vaccine tested to see if it works. And the vaccine is actually the plague. But since they give themselves the plague, they've got a cure for the plague now, which is Cipro, which is a antibiotic, and they'll use that to knock out the plague, and then they'll have these immunity that will keep them from getting the virus if they are indeed bitten. And they're also kind of speculating whether or not this virus was man-made or where it came from or whatever, because they've never seen anything like it before. Meanwhile, on our ship, the Gibberish, this is the other group that we've got out here. And they've gone through their own trials and tribulations. It turns out the woman on board here, she's starting to get radiation poisoning. And if you recall, in one of the early issues, they escaped a city in which a nuke had been dropped on it. And they were out in the water, but they just weren't far enough away. They took iodine pills, but apparently it wasn't enough for her to keep from getting radiation sickness. So they're trying to figure out how they can get her to a place that can help save her at this point. She's in so much pain she wants to be killed, but they're not, the two men on board are not giving up hope. In the meantime, the vaccine has been discovered. They've got a pig that has survived without turning, and the good doctor there has decided he's going to be the human guinea pig to see if it all works. So they're going to strap him down, give him the stuff, and see what happens. In the meantime, these guys on the ship, the Gibberish, are trying to figure out where they can take their friend to get her healthy again. And as you can see here, here's the good, now we're back at Fort Levine. The doctor's taking the vaccine. They've got a pistol to his head just in case he does turn, that the plague the plague antidote doesn't work, but we'll find out later. Okay, they're still kind of bringing her around. They're taking her downstairs to the bed just to make her more comfortable. They really don't want to kill her. And that's kind of the bottom line. Back at Fort Levine, the doctor survived, and so he is giving the antidote, or not really the antidote, but the vaccine to all the soldiers there. But it takes an hour to kick in, so if the gates fall, they'll fall as well. And right about that time, they can see the zombie crews are attacking. Back on the gibberish, the woman is feeling worse and worse. They're heading towards a city, hoping they can find something. They talked about going to Canada, but it would be just too far away. They think she's going to die within a day without special treatment. Back at Fort Levine, the soldiers are ready for the onslaught. The helicopters are in the air already shooting away, and they open fire as soon as they get close enough to the border to make every bullet count at this point. As you can see, our friend is not doing well. They found a city, but it is on fire, so they know that's a bad bet. They can't go there. Meanwhile, back at Fort Levine, the action just picks up. I mean, there's a rush of these things towards the wall trying to get in. They're blowing them away as fast as they can. The helicopters are up there also doing their part, but they're running out of ammo, and they have to go ahead and give up the fight and just go ahead and land at some point. So they're hoping that they can hold out at this point. It's looking pretty good, though. Meanwhile, the guys on board, there's just not suddenly, but they're about to put her out of her misery because she's feeling so bad. He says, "Wait, get me the flare gun." And what we find out is a hospital ship is there. They go ahead and shoot off their flare, and the hospital ship comes to their aid. And hopefully they can take care of her. We're getting towards the end of the story. This is actually the end of this arc. And so the guys back at Fort Levine, they continue to fire on. They talk about how they got to find the queen. They have no idea where she is or how this virus got started in the first place. But we are given a hint that perhaps it came from out there, and we see a satellite, and we see this strange misty mass, and we get the end. So I'm thinking this is going to be another arc coming up, and I'm all over it. I love this story. It was really good. A lot of zombie stories, they do kind of follow a certain storyline, but this one really, I think, went a little bit further. It is getting the Indie Comics Jones Good Excavating seal of approval, as did the first 3 issues. I might add, this is issue number 4. It did come in at $3.99, and it comes out from Scout Comics. So I hope you enjoyed this review of this very gripping tale, and just a lot of fun. Rabid World is a big recommend, especially if you like zombies stories. And I like okay. I'm not crazy about zombies, but this I thought was really well done. So my hat's off to the crew. Thanks for stopping by and listening to this review. As always, please like, please subscribe, please leave comments, and we'll see you next time at the Temple of Tomes. This is Indie Comics Jones bidding you adieu.